What I want to do in this video is talk to you about 3 things that you can do, that any person can do to get side hustle income or to start your own business. Too many people right now are starting to talk about that we need higher minimum wages, that we've got to force employers to give paid leave, to do all of these things by using the government to go and enforce employers to do stuff. But I tell you what, if you want to tap into upward mobility for your finances, you need to look at 2 things. 1, at least look at side gig income. At least look at becoming a freelancer or some sort of side hustle, okay? The second thing is consider growing a side hustle into a small business, into a more full-time gig. Freelance, work from home opportunity can give you the biggest raise ever. I have family that work in bigger corporations or bigger companies. If you ever look at the types of raises people generally get when you're an employee of a big corporation, they're not huge raises, increases in salary. They're not huge. But you know what's really funny? You know who the richest people I know are? And this is because of what I do. They're business owners. They're entrepreneurs. They make way more money than any of the employees I know, particularly when you start doing the math on what kind of increased salary percentages they have through their efforts. Upward mobility is found in its greatest degree when you're able to do a side gig job. There's 3 core ideas, I think, that prove that you can make huge money as a side gig, or even if you're stay at home, but that would provide amazing upward mobility. So, first of all, you can go clean houses on the weekend, okay? Anybody can go clean a house. Now, it takes a certain type of person to humble themselves to go out and do it, to execute on it, and to do a great job at it. Takes some training and some professionalism, and it's not the easiest job in the world. But I tell you what, if you found 2 or 3 houses that you could clean on nights and weekends, and if you approach the right types of clients in that, there are people that pay $300-400 a time every month, twice a month, to have their house cleaned. If you approach people that value, and this is what it's all about, finding the people that value margin in their life and a clean house and have the financial means to pay for a house cleaning, you can make money. So right there, I tell you what, there's no reason why anyone that doesn't have a criminal background can't go out and make, doggone it, $1,500 more a month by cleaning 3 or 4 houses a month and make tons of side gig income. Now, a bunch of you are rolling your eyes as you watch that, but I'm telling you, if you want to make money, if you want a real raise, that's a serious income booster. If you do it right, if you study what the competitors in the area are doing, and you provide house cleaning, you can just kill it. You know how I know you can do this? My grandma, who passed away 4 years ago, did this her entire life. She cleaned houses and would find 5 or 6 people that she could clean their house every single week, and they just paid her a monthly or a weekly thing or a per time fee. And she had a great life. Everybody was always curious how it was that she was financially stable. Sure, she grew up in the Depression and saved everything. Her fridge was covered in margarine containers, but she cleaned houses. Folks, if you want upward mobility, if you're a hard worker, go clean people's houses. Make their house look amazing. You got to approach the right people, but go through a neighborhood and show what you're doing. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you're not that type of person that likes to hustle and sweat and clean a house, maybe you're a writer. Now, if you know how to write, if you've been through college and you know how to write, if you're able to concoct a great article, copywriting is the #1 skill for entrepreneurs right now. Nothing can help you more than being a good copywriter. And copywriter is just a word for you being able to write through a perspective of somebody else, right? So why is that such a giant need out there? Well, right now, the 2 things that the 3 formats that you will put online is 1, you've got copywriting. So if you were a remodeling company and you want people to find your website, you need to have a website that have articles about remodeling and about how you do that. If you sell homes, you need to have web pages and landing pages that talk about you selling homes. No matter what industry you're in, the first medium is written medium, and it's usually on a website. The second medium would be photography. The third would be videography. Those mediums are what you need to have in your digital system of whether it's social media or websites to actually be able to attract and have an inbound marketing system. So if you're able to write, and if you're able to write for other people, and if you're able to write in a niche that has a high financial gain to it, and if you can gain some expertise in that niche, you can make huge money. I really mean it. Whether you're freelancing through Upwork, which is kind of Upwork.com, that's a place where you can go and say you're a copywriter. Now people are going to kind of hammer you on your prices there. Or if you were to just approach all sorts of small businesses around you and say, hey, for $100 an article or 10 to 20 cents a word is usually how the articles would work. Let me help you create content that's going to rank in organic search, or that's going to be great for your social media posts, or is going to be great for pay-per-click advertising through Google AdWords. If you can do that, you can make tons of money. So the first way, there's no excuse. If you can write, if you can clean houses, and then the third thing is, if you have the capacity to do childcare in any way, shape, or form, you can make money. You can have a successful business by providing childcare. Okay? All you have to do is start doing the math on what it takes for you to do daycare or pay for daycare. If you have 2 or 3 kids and you start realizing that oftentimes it makes no sense to continue a career because you're going to be paying so much in daycare that it offsets any income that you'd have. Now, is daycare hard? Yup. Are you negotiating with little terrorists all day long? Yup. But you know what? If you want to go out and make a ton of money, open a daycare and study what great daycare. Now, I've been around enough daycares to understand you need to set the rules. You need to probably charge enough so that it makes sense. You want to provide kind of an educational system. You need to be background checked. You should probably get some helpers around you to do it. It's not easy work, but you can make a ton of money. In fact, I would say if you're in education, I would flirt with the idea of starting a tutoring school for homeschool students, right? Because you would be able to actually charge daycare rates often, and which daycare people make more than teachers. I hate to say it, all the daycares I know are making way more than the teachers are. And you'd be able to help do teaching, and there's all sorts of things. And here'd be the fourth thing. So the first thing is if you can clean houses. The second thing is if you can write. The third thing is if you can watch kids. And then the fourth thing is if you have any ability whatsoever to drive, there's money to be made. Now everybody knows about Uber and everybody knows about Lyft, but you can be a courier as well. There's a ton of situations where people whose time is very valuable have to get document A to document B. And if you just think about in the real estate and construction business, how many times a document needs to get passed back and forth, and people pay for that. Or if you're currying between restaurants, if you're currying between businesses or whatever that looks like, you can drive, you can curry, you can be a limo driver. Now that's not huge money, but if you learn how to cherry pick that and learn exactly when and where you need to be, that could be a great business. So those are 4 ideas that darn near anybody can do to earn extra income. Not only do you do that as a side gig to build wealth in a much better way than really you pursuing your own promotions at your job. I'm telling you, this is where all the money's at. And those are 4 those are 4 things that are accessible to darn near anybody. But you can grow that into a serious business, or it can be a start of you start that type of business, and then while you're doing your entrepreneurship, you learn something else.